Hello everybody, Bryce from Peace in the Valley. We're going to make something pretty neat today, and I think it's going to be most useful. We have mosquitoes like crazy. Out in the shop or even in a retail store where you want to change prices and items, you're going to see some of these around, but I think you haven't seen one quite like this. So what it's going to be is a board that you can write on with dry erase. Now everybody's seen those, but this is an inspiration from the desk that I had made inside my van. And here's a picture of that. That's going to be used while we're traveling. But one of my coworkers said, hey, that could work great as a display, or I was also thinking it could also work well as a notes for in your shop. So first of all, we're going to need a 2x4, 1x6. Let's start over. I also bought a dowel rod just for this, 1/2 inch in size, and you're going to cut that to the size you need. And then this here is just scrap board. It's called Alumilite, and you can find it. A lot of times you can find it at sign shops. They might be able to sell you some scraps for fairly cheap. And I would suggest maybe round cornering it, maybe not quite that much of a radius, but something along the lines just so it's not a sharp edge. So that's our scrap material, and we're going to base it on this size right here. And that's going to be the board we write on. We're going to make the brackets with this piece of paper right here. I'm also going to post a link to it right below in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, that you can make something identical to it or nearly so. So let's get started. We are going to take our sheet of paper and we're going to spray it down with Super 77 on the back side. Let's make sure our sheet is big enough. And it is. I don't know why I split them so far apart, but we do want to use as much of the board as possible, or I should say minimize our usage of the total board as much as possible, and keeping the entire bracket in. So spray it on, and make sure you turn your can upside down to get the glue out of the nozzle. I wonder if I could actually line it up so I don't even have to cut the bottom. Okay, so now you can see we are going to take our jigsaw, and before we cut it, I'm actually going to clamp this down with some wood clamps in 2 places. To keep it from moving on our board. Okay, I believe I want to cut as much out as I can. Okay, if we take it off quick enough, this here won't glue itself on. This here is 6 millimeters thick. You can adjust it for what you want, but that's the thickness of my boards. Okay, we are now done with this board right here. Remember, peel this stuff off so it doesn't permanently glue itself on, and it shouldn't if you do it quick enough. This is a project that's designed to use up your scrap wood, and that's what I designed it for. Remember on this, you would cut on the inside of your lines. Now get your wooden mallet out and your 1/4 inch chisel or 6 millimeter. Put it right on the line. And that piece just pops out. So this is what your piece should look like when we're done with the first initial cut. And I believe our other one fell down. So you can see what that looks like. We're going to chisel the other one out. So now we have two nearly identical pieces that we just cut out. Might work better with a scroll saw, but I didn't want to set that up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole here and a hole here, hole here and a hole here. And that is going to be for our dowel rod. I think the easiest way to align these up are to take a drill and go straight down, then come back with your 1/2 inch and finish it. So just put in a pilot hole. That way you know they're going to align up. Unless you want to draw it all out, you can do that too. Make sure you put your tools away. Especially your chisels. Next, we're going to put up a board here. See how far. We want it. Okay, so this right here is how it would look, and you can cut the height if you need it different. Now we're going to take our dowel rod. Okay, got to mark it. Measure it and see it's right at 10 inches. So that's where we're going to put it, is we're going to do 2 10-inch dowels. If you wouldn't want to, you wouldn't even have to put the dowel rods in if you left the board there all the time. Bought these down from our local hardware store. Make sure they work. A little tight, but does work. Now we want a little bit of wood glue. If you want, you wouldn't have to use wood glue if you want to be able to take this apart. In fact, we'll just leave it not glued for right now. Okay, the next step. We've got our dowels, we've got our brackets. Now we want to round the edges for the professional look. We need to change out our router bit, and we'll just do a small round over bit. Though, I'm going to change my mind. I like the chamfer bit on something like this. Round over would look nice too. Last but not least, we are going to sand. So what is an advantage to a stand like this? Well, one, it stands. So the stand, being that we didn't glue the dowel rods in, you can expand or narrow it up without any issues. It's easy to put together, and so if you want to take it out, it's just a matter of going like that, okay, on both sides. It's different, and that's a neat one. I did bevel the edges just slightly with the sander. So you have it. You can use it as a retail display, like that. You can use it in your wood shop. So if I put a hole up here, I could now take it and put it on a wall back behind so I can still see it. If you use it with dry erase, you'll be able to erase it off. This is not dry erase, but times 8 foot. Okay, and we've got 32 inches divided by 2 equals 16. So you can use it for all kinds of stuff, but the great thing is you could be walking around with it. Now, you might not want it this large. This is the size of scrap I had, but you could easily change that size. So you could walk around, take all the notes you need, and unlike paper, the stand makes it stand up, just like that. And I find that to be pretty handy for lots of different reasons. Now, before I'm done, I'm going to actually stain this one. And I'm going to use it in one of my stores there, or excuse me, my store. And you could also make a little pen holder, either on the side of the board or on here, depending on what you want to do with it. But this is just a starting point, and I think it worked out really well, especially for the price. Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless.